that would go on to change toy stores forever.
Using the OpenAI generation tool Sora, Toys R Us released an ad exploring the origins of founder Charles Lazarus and the company's mascot Geoffrey the Giraffe. The ad aims for a whimsical, dreamlike sentiment, but the imagery is the stuff of nightmares.
The greatest toy store there is.
We're not sure what's creepier, a digital Charles Lazarus whose haircut, glasses, and face changed multiple times throughout the ad, or the poorly rendered Geoffrey the Giraffe, who blankly gazes down at the young shopper with dead eyes. We guarantee that if you gave any kid a camcorder, they could come up with something better than this.
The giraffe was really what did it for me. In one scene, it would look one way, and then it looked very different in another scene.
Number 5, Marvel's Secret Invasion intro. This MCU miniseries revolves around a conspiracy, with shape-shifting Skrulls replacing humans.
And everyone I killed took a little piece out of my art.
You're not the only one.
No, but I am the only one brave enough to admit it.
The show's opening title sequence reflected this, and not in a good way. To the casual onlooker, it may seem like a standard intro. Many viewers sensed something was off, however. They were right to be suspicious, as Method Studios created the sequence using AI. Method Studios claims no jobs were taken and additional methods were employed. Many animators took offense. It didn't help that this transpired during the 2023 Hollywood labor disputes, with the use of AI being a key issue.
That at a moment when streaming and AI and digital is so prevalent in the industry, it has disemboweled the industry that we once knew.
Adding insult to injury, the credits themselves looked bland and cheap, which is inexcusable for a show that cost over $200 million to produce. Number 4, Willy's Chocolate Experience. What seems like a tasty treat can come in deceitful wrapping paper. The website for this unofficial Charlie and the Chocolate Factory experience enticed visitors with its colorful images. Once people arrived at the event in Glasgow, Scotland, they weren't immersed in a candy-coated wonderland. They were plunged into a shoddy warehouse lacking in decorations, sweets, and ties to the source material.
There was none of the joy and colour these kids had been looking forward to. It was all so absurd, their disappointment made global headlines.
Seriously, what is the unknown? House of Illuminati founder Bill Cole claims AI didn't write the script, although he has published numerous AI-generated books.
I suffer with dyslexia. I've had to run it through AI to be able to check spelling, grammar, and continuity.
In any case, AI was heavily used for the promotional material, which should have been obvious in retrospect given the inconsistent designs and baffling spelling mistakes. We bet that AI makes the chocolate taste terrible.
It was like something that you would see maybe at a kid's birthday party, you know, not an event that you've paid £35 a ticket for.
Number 3, The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. The Wizard of Oz remains a cinematic treasure almost a century later. The idea of experiencing it at an all-encompassing venue like the Sphere sounded promising, until we saw how AI was being integrated.
Oh, I really want to see Dorothy with her shoes on at this frame, but I don't. If I've ever seen Dorothy's shoes on one frame, using these generative AI techniques, I can now show the shoes in a future one that we could not see her feet.
It'd be one thing if AI were sparingly used to make the 1939 film fit the arena. Unfortunately, AI slop drapes the entire production, sucking out much of the original's practical magic.
But now, thanks to AI, you can now see the cast from head to toe, and if somebody walked off screen in the original movie, AI reimagines what they were doing off camera.
The whole movie isn't even presented, with roughly 25 minutes being cut. As if that weren't bad enough, an AI-generated David Zaslav makes a cameo. In a way, we guess that's fitting. If AI is the ultimate enemy of art, the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO is a close second. There's no place like home, and this ain't it.
It's the first time people can see what AI can do to a movie fully, right? And they think that it's art that should not be changed.
Number 2, fake Hurricane Helene photos. There's no denying that Hurricane Helene had a devastating effect on the southeastern U.S. in September 2024. As many areas were flooded, social media overflowed with misinformation. Numerous AI-generated photos, most notably one of a crying little girl clinging to her dog, went viral.
There are some subtle things in the images that indicate they're AI. In one image, between the puppy's head and the girl's hair, there's a white space, with the background missing.
Not only did this confuse first responders trying to do their jobs, but members of the far right weaponized the phony photos in an attempt to demonize the Biden administration. Another photo of Donald Trump pushing through floodwaters was also confirmed to be AI.
Trump's hand is misshapen. The text on the yellow hat is gibberish. Trump's outfit doesn't match real pictures from multiple news outlets of what he was wearing while in Valdosta.
In an age where some will believe whatever they see online, these AI images weren't just cringe-inducing. They were distasteful, manipulative, and potentially damaging, distracting from the true tragedies taking place.
First, think twice about images that just seem too dramatic. Next, look for inconsistencies in details across similar images.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. AI Obama arrested. AI can be used for good in the right hands, but it can also be dangerous in the wrong ones. We can't think of a usage that's made us more uncomfortable than this AI-generated video, where Barack Obama is detained in the Oval Office.
The post comes after the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, accused the Obama administration of a treasonous conspiracy to undermine Trump's 2016 election win.
In the video, the FBI apprehends the former president as Donald Trump watches with glee. It then jumps to Obama in an orange jumpsuit behind bars. The use of the song YMCA was also a choice. Although the video is artificial, the real Trump reposted it on social media. That notion alone might be even cringier than the video itself. It might have been a distraction, but the fake video won't make Trump's own legal troubles go away.
Democrats have labelled it a politically motivated move at a time where the president seeks to redirect the conversation from the Epstein files.
What's the cringiest use of AI you've ever seen? Let us know in the comments.
You think that's a good idea?
Yeah, it sounds like a deconstructed
just for shit.
Oh my god, Gromit, you just turned into a mug. What are we gonna do, Gromit? What about all the cheese?
Victor's so funny and cute, an adorable and cute comedy monster. I'll take care of Victor. Well, yeah. Not gonna lie, but I'm not really here. I'm not really here for green abominations.
Quem acompanha o canal sabe que eu sou um grande fã da publicidade brasileira, principalmente das antigas. Mas como nem todo marketing é assim uma Brastemp, hoje vamos ver os comerciais mais esdrúxulos da TV brasileira. Fala, noventistas! Aqui é o Noji, e começando logo pelo comercial da selaria texana, que eu não sei se você sabe, mas os atores que participaram chegaram a ser indicadas ao Oscar. Altíssimo nível.
Amor, que cela linda! Vem aqui pra você ver.
Nossa, que linda! Você gostou?
Ai,
Que foi, amor?
estava sonhando, galopando no tango, com aquela linda cela que vimos lá na selaria texana.
Nossa, amor, que lindo!
Oi, amor. Por que acordou tão cedo? Onde você foi?
Oi, querido, eu fui ao mercado. Pega as compras do carro pra nós.
I love Garfield. I grew up watching the live-action movies, but I didn't know it would come to this. See, this thing has dominated my life for the past year. Garfield is, of course, one of the most famous characters ever created. The world loved and laughed at his newspaper comics from the 1980s. He's a fat, orange, judgmental cat. Or so they say. His owner is John, a goofy man who has a crush on Liz the vet. They also have a dumb dog named Odie. Garfield's favorite food is lasagna. He hates Mondays, and people relate to him. But in 2004, they made him into this live-action movie where all of the actors and animals were real, except Garfield, who's this fur blob that's animated very expressively and voiced by Bill Murray. None of the humans can understand the animals, and Odie can't even talk at all, and they made an interesting sequel too. But many people, including Bill Murray, didn't like the movies. I like them. I didn't even know what Garfield was until I saw these movies. I still have the DVDs. Yet, despite watching these so many times, I had never dared to investigate them. Not in 10 years of doing this. It was out of fear, because they say something big is hiding here. In the first movie, John adopts Odie and Garfield has to get along with him, but when Odie wins a dog show, a crazy TV host kidnaps him and Garfield must save the day. In the sequel, they travel to England and Garfield accidentally swaps places with a royal cat who looks just like him. Seems like a dream come true at first, but the rightful owner of the castle keeps trying to kill animals, so everyone has to rise up. So I went in with a magnifying glass. Dozens of extremely weird things not one person has ever seen hiding in plain sight. Very specific things to fill out their world, but it appears as though the creators read the comics and tried explaining some niche things. Recently, artists on Reddit have done this too. This is very me. Or is it? See, this Garfield is an alien demon, yes, obviously. But the real mystery here lies in the people around him. Whether this was intended or not, I'm about to permanently change these movies. All we know is that Garfield is somehow related to these royal orange cats. They all look the same all throughout history, all ruling this estate. Because they may be CGI, but that is literally a part of this story. Okay, let's make a few things clear from the get-go. The live-action Garfield is not a cat. To figure out what this thing, this Garfield, actually is, we need to establish a few things. 1. Garfield and Prince obviously do insane stunts in the movies that no real animal could ever do. Deadly stunts. And it's because 2, it's CGI, a computer-generated animation, a cartoon in the real world. These two are the only animations because of how important they are. The expressive faces, the human movements, teleporting around, eating impossible amounts of food. Obviously, it's because they're cartoons. But it's interesting because this seems to be a big story point. Look closely. Garfield says that all of the barnyard animals have vacant expressions.
There's some sort of affliction that produces this glazed look behind your eyes.
He's joking about how real animals can't act like he can. They kind of just stare off screen. And to double down on this, Prince does the same thing with Odie.
You there, with the wise and thoughtful look. Hello?
They know. They make fun of it. 3, the ages. This is Prince the 12th, and yet these paintings go back many hundreds of years.
These are your ancestors dating back 400 years.
How can this be the 12th if cats only live like 15 years? Like, do the math. These are human lifespans. 4. All of them are exactly the same. There's no variance in the animation between any of them, between Prince, Garfield, the ancestors. They mimic each other's movements, lives, and even thoughts.
We have 2 plans.
Again, they talk about this openly. So, to break it down, they're not really cats, more like monstrous, ageless, unnatural CGI creatures that have human lifespans. So naturally, you'd have to ask, where did these things even come from? Would they be born? Or, like, what would be the case in this situation? We don't know much, but the first movie opens with John's photograph of Garfield as a baby, with his siblings waiting to be adopted. And one of these things is not like the other. This is obviously on purpose. Again, they're pointing out how he looks nothing like other cats. But really think, these are not his siblings. He's like a big red beacon saying, "Pick me." How would he even get here? Does he even have parents? He jokes about it a couple times.
Gosh, you sound like my mother. Mom! Dad! Mom!
And see, he knows he belongs here. We know so little, but he's so weird, and everyone knows. Even the solicitors mention that... Wait a second. Hold on. Hold on. If they look this weird, why isn't there more surprise? Why are people so calm about seeing this? And people, they can react. Look at how they treat Odie's dance, but nobody reacts to Garfield. This thing? What the hell not? Not John, nor the vets, nor the kennel say anything. Unless they do know. So, Garfield isn't a cat, but I think all of the humans know this, and they don't want to talk about it. You'll see. Let's go on a journey, start to finish. England to Garfield. We have to start this story by uncovering the secrets of the castle where everything begins. Look at this. Why would they have a dungeon? To lock up troublemakers? Okay, but now why does it have a cat-sized escape contraption? Well, they probably built it this way in case they got stuck in there with their cats, right? They were very attached. Maybe they were scared of being invaded and locked up during a battle, so this allows their cats to slip free as a backup plan. But what kind of insane situation would actually call for that? What kind of invader would lock them in there with their cats? I thought this would be a dead end, but then I saw this scene of Garfield wearing their cat-sized armor with a cat-sized sword. So there's a violent history with cats fighting off enemies too. This whole castle is built with these cats in mind. Playhouses, dumbwaiters, barnyard paintings. It's all about the cats. That's why Prince was next in line instead of the owner's nephew. She was obsessed with him. She knows. But what about her associates? Lord Dargis absolutely hates animals because his aunt loved them more than she loved him. This drives him crazy when he uncovers their conspiracy.
Good Lord! It's a conspiracy!
But notice this, when Prince counts to 100 during their fake game of hide and seek, Dargis throws him into the river.
96, 97, here I come.
Exactly on the last second, as if he can hear him counting. And the other associate, Smithy the butler, what does he know? Well, he believes the whole Garfield cat mix-up without any evidence. He even brings the police, he's so certain. The butlers line up on cue. They can order Garfield's plasma TV. Garfield can really communicate with them. So then I had a truly crazy idea. I tried studying the villain from the first movie, Happy Chapman. He's a TV host, jealous of his famous brother, but he's American. He should be totally unrelated to the Carlisle Castle. So I investigated his office. And royalty references aside, what's actually weird is the fact that he works with the US government and has a presidential seal on his door. His mission was to deliver pet content to all of America through the news. So it makes sense, I guess, if it's a national priority. But this really cranks up his importance to the presidential level. And then I remembered his animal sidekick, the one he said was stuck with him, was none other than a trained British performer named Sir Roland.
My name isn't really persnickety. It's Sir Roland. I was trained in the classical theatre, you know.
Who was openly surveilling Garfield like the knight he is. Okay, so there are big connections here, big similarities. If it's possible that they all know about each other, then what exactly would be going on here? What do the people know? If they know these cats are CGI, why are they hiding it? Let me introduce you to Petco, Happy Chapman's pet food company. This organization has held a local dog show for 18 years with judges like Liz. John goes to their show in the first movie. He brings Odie just to watch. Garfield sneaks along too to cause mayhem. But during the show, Odie jumps up on the stage and amazes everyone with his funny dance. Despite this, nobody cares about the hyper-emoting CGI blob that's destroying everything backstage. Just look at how fake this is. Look at him. It's like they're acting overly normal on purpose. So am I saying that Petco is setting up elaborate acts on purpose? Oh, yes. Look at their cat food. Isn't it a little weird that they put a map drawing game on the back of their boxes? Like, this is something companies do to cereal boxes for kids to play during breakfast. Not cats. What do they think, some bored cat's gonna be playing this while eating breakfast? No. Honestly, it's like they gave Garfield instructions. We know that Petco has press agencies, like this newspaper, which is just for dog shows. But what about this one?
Sources tell me that this incident somehow involved a dog and a very heroic cat.
Sources say he's a heroic cat? How the f*** would they know? Even John himself thought that Happy Chapman had kidnapped both of his pets. So how the f*** do these people know that Garfield saved Odie? Like, I don't know who they are or how controlling they are, but the fact that they have news access and even John's TV channels change scenes and air 24/7 dog shows to Garfield is a little weird. I did also remember that the Black Eyed Peas made this song for the movie. Garfield trained Odie on it because of how much it played on their TV. And of all emergency songs to play at their dog show, they chose this one. Why this one song? Unless they knew. In time, you will agree. But I think the entire dog show was a staged event to lure Garfield into the open so Petco could destroy him. So overall, they're not cats, and the royalty so Dargis knows, meaning Happy Chapman knows, so all of Petco knows, which brings me to their other judges, the woman herself, Liz Wilson. When John takes Garfield to see Liz, look at what she says.
Let's get Garfield in for a step. I want to talk to you in private.
What was that?
I want to talk to you in private.
So, you're admitting that this cat can understand everything.
Huzzah! Cheers, gentlemen, to another year of record-breaking ringtone sales. Of course, we did have a little help. Who could forget this year's best-selling cast of characters like DJ Penguino, Romeo, the Disco Cheese Wheel, Goblin, just Goblin, and of course, Ring Chimp's latest star-in-the-making, Schizotoad. Just went platinum in Germany. Now, if you'll allow me, I'd like to propose a toast. Here's to another year of record-breaking ringtone sales. Because, as we all very well know by now,
everyone needs a phone, so by that logic, everyone will always need a ringtone.
And that is absolutely irrefutable.
Sir?
Who said that?
I did, sir.
Hold on. Okay, one sec, I see him. Who are you? What do you do here?
I'm Mike, sir, your vice president.
And why haven't you spoken until now?
Well, it's been difficult, sir. You insisted on putting me at the other end of a comically long table!
It was funny at the time.
It's fine. Listen, I have some concerns.
What?
I said... Screw it.
Hello?
Sir, I have some concerns.
Out with it.
I think our sales are about to drop. Hard.
That's impossible. Read the plaque again.
Look, I know people need ringtones, sir, but that doesn't mean they need to buy them. Besides, our business model is terrible. We use cute cartoon characters to lure people into these ludicrous ringtone subscriptions. We're getting like hundreds of complaints a day. But I've been working with legal, and I think if we clean up our act, we could actually pivot into a...
Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir?
Do you know why we're called Ring Chimp?
Because animal mascots make us look more approachable?
No, Mike. Our company's called Ring Chimp because everyone at this table already knows it's monkey business. Ringtones! In the mid-2000s, cell phone culture was in its golden age. You gotta remember, before Apple dropped the iPhone and permanently nuked the concept of mobile aesthetics, phones were actually interesting to look at. They came in a myriad of shapes, colors, and orientations, and the model you chose often said a lot about you. You had Blackberries for the refined businessman, Motorola Razors for the trendy teens, and the Jitterbug for geriatrics. But perhaps the most unique aspect, the part that truly portrayed the face behind each phone, was the ringtone. In 2002, a technological innovation in cellular hardware helped to drastically improve the audio quality of cell phone speakers, helping to take ringtones from this to this. And just like that, an entire industry was born. Suddenly, ringtones weren't just a mundane option buried in your phone settings. They were songs. Actual songs. Timeless shit like NSYNC and Papa Roach. For phone users, young people especially, it was a game changer. The ringtone revolution provided an exciting new way for people to consume their favorite music, personalize their devices, and boldly express their music taste. Sometimes annoyingly. And in public forums. But it was a hit. During a time when mobile devices were still quite primitive, ringtones became one of the first instances where people would actually look to their phones as a source of entertainment. You see, back then, phones really couldn't do much. You couldn't stream music, you couldn't watch movies, you couldn't even book convenient doctor's appointments with today's sponsor, ZocDoc. Gotcha, stay with me now! ZocDoc is a convenient online booking system that allows you to search for and compare high-quality doctors that can meet your medical needs. Whatever they may be. Mental health, dental health, skin health, primary care. What ails you, my lord? ZocDoc has more than 100,000 in-network providers across a wide array of specialties, locations, and insurance plans. Look, sometimes going to the doctor can be a pain. You spend all that time in a waiting room, contemplating your mortality, only for the doctor to finally come in and tell you your body can no longer process dairy. Damn it, Doc, I need my cheese! But with ZocDoc, you can skip the waiting rooms and video call a specialist right from the comfort of your home. Thanks to their convenient and easy-to-use booking system, with just a few clicks, I can book an appointment and have a call with a specialist within 24 to 72 hours. In fact, I've got an appointment booked for right now. Hey, Doc. Hey, Nick. How you doing? I'm great. Can I have cheese now? That's not how this works. Damn it! Look, your health comes first. So go to ZocDoc.com/slowstart or click the link in the description to book a real doctor with real reviews and no hidden fees. Cheers. Now, while ringtones might have just seemed like a fun little fad, for record companies, they were a godsend. By 2004, music labels were turning their attention away from failing CD sales to focus on what was now becoming a billion-dollar ringtone industry. In fact, this new format had become so popular that music labels had begun to favor artists whose songs sounded better as ringtones. Suddenly, becoming a top ringtone artist was something to strive for, something that was rewarded. Quite literally, too. I mean, they actually tried giving out Best Ringtone Awards for like 2 years.
Wow. Ringtone, I'm feeling that, man.
I don't think he's feeling it. But regardless of its consequences, from 2003 to 2007, ringtones would make record companies billions in additional revenue. A welcome change for an industry that had spent the last 5 years getting kind of slapped around by online piracy. And it's no wonder it made money. In the 2000s, just a single 30-second ringtone of your favorite song could sell for anything from $2 to $5 per download. It was ludicrous. Do you know how much that is in Canadian? It's too much. Our money's probably closer to the value of a RuneScape gold than US dollars. My point is, the ringtone industry had become incredibly lucrative. And it was this factor that would eventually inspire a group of eager German entrepreneurs to ask,
why should the record labels have all the fun?
Enter Jamster, or Jamba, as they called it in Germany. In the mid-2000s, the Jamster ringtone company exploded onto the mobile market with an advertising style that was pretty hard to forget. Oh, wow! This little alien is so cute!
Oh, thank you.
Text alien to 75555 to get this weird little freak on your phone.
Huh, okay. Thought we were being nice.
Now, the genius behind Jamster was the realization that they didn't need to have a physical roster of artists to sell ringtones. They could just make their own. With 3D software, Jamster had fabricated an entire virtual record label composed of dozens upon dozens of these soulless Europop idols. Each one deliberately designed to sell ringtones. And boy, did they sell. By 2005, Jamster's cast of characters had generated over $500 million for the company in just that year alone. But they weren't just selling ringtones. Jamster offered a simple text-to-order service that delivered all kinds of downloadable content to your phone. All you had to do was text the code that corresponded with what you wanted to get access to ringtones, wallpapers, games, and even videos. You gotta remember, this was before YouTube took off. In 2005, there were people who would actually pay to download something like this onto their phone. Guys, you don't understand. I can watch this anytime I want. And thanks to Jamster's myriad cast of characters, there was something for everyone. You had Snuffle Bunny for the moms, Gummy Bear for the kids, Anna Blue for the emo kids, DJ Mozart for the... this one sucks. But out of all the characters that existed in the JMU, not one managed to rise to the monumental level of star power of Crazy Frog. In 2004, a brand new character was welcomed into the Jamster family, one that would reach levels of success far beyond just ringtones. With Jamster's help, the Crazy Frog would go from a modestly viral internet video to a worldwide sensation, releasing 3 studio albums, 2 iconic video games, mountains of merchandise, and oh my god, he even toured. Crazy Frog was Jamster's poster boy, the ringtone star that demonstrated how companies like Jamster were capable of producing virtual talent that could rival the success of real-life pop stars. It was a testament to just how big the ringtone industry could be. And perhaps just how much they could get away with. You see, a big part of Jamster's marketing strategy were their commercials. In the 2000s, these ads would play incessantly and were a pivotal part of what made the brand a success. But if you pay close attention to them, you might notice something strange. A common phrase you'd often hear in these commercials was, "Text now to get this on your phone." But what you wouldn't hear was the price. In fact, the language they use doesn't even imply you're buying anything at all. Text this number, get this on your phone. They almost made it sound free. And in a way, it was true. You weren't buying anything. You were subscribing, oftentimes up to $10 a month, for a ringtone subscription buried in the fine print of the ad. And all it took was a single text to fall for the trap. Turns out Jamster's all-too-convenient texting service made use of a tricky little billing system known as Wireless Application Protocol, aka WAP. Please be mature. In the 2000s, WAP billing was the main payment method used for downloading ringtones. And it had a very exploitable little quirk. You see, WAP gave third-party companies the ability to apply charges directly to your phone bill with nothing but your phone number. Now, if this sounds sketchy, well, that's because it was. But the ringtone companies loved it. This meant that people didn't have to overcome the psychological hurdles of inputting their credit card for purchases. They could just text FROG to 555 and instantly be subscribed to this. Hell, it was so easy, even a child could do it. And they did. A lot. On the internet, you'll find countless stories of children who ran their parents' phone bills into the hundreds of dollars, all from subscribing to ringtone ads that were clearly designed to get their attention. Seriously, if you were a kid in the 2000s, you probably remember just how prevalent these commercials were. I mean, they played everywhere, all the time. According to a survey, in 2005, 87% of the United Kingdom had seen the Jamster Crazy Frog commercial an average of 26 times. That's a lot of bings. That's a lot of bing-bings. But Jamster's advertising strategy was aggressive for a reason. You see, they were trying to cast a net, one that was intended to trap as many customers as possible into a subscription service that was easy to fall for and hard to cancel. But how was this allowed? Wouldn't your carrier company be able to block these kinds of shady charges? Well, they could, but they wouldn't. Because they were fucking in on it, dude! Reports have shown that mobile phone carriers would often collect as much as 30 to 50% of the charges they facilitated through WAP billing. And they would then bury these fees at the bottom of your phone bill under ambiguous terms like premium calling. Hell, some ringtone companies would even charge you without ever getting your permission. I mean, all they needed was your phone number. They could just add a charge to your bill and hope you wouldn't notice. It was that easy. Thanks to the profoundly insecure architecture of the WAP billing system, virtually anyone was capable of falling prey to this scam. The cram scam. The scam was called cramming. In fact, some people could become victims before they ever even turned on their first phone. In the 2000s, mobile phone vendors would often receive hefty commissions based on how many subscription services they could tack on to your new cell phone, oftentimes without your knowledge. But it wasn't just ringtones they were peddling. During the height of the cramming scam, Jamster and its army of copycats would make millions stuffing people's phone bills with unsolicited wallpaper subscriptions, daily horoscopes, love calculators, complete digital trash. And if customers weren't vigilant, these kinds of charges could persist on their bill for years. But that's how these companies made money. Turns out, a considerable portion of Jamster's revenue was being generated from customers that didn't even know they were customers. With ringtones, what had originally begun as a fun new way to personalize your cell phone had quickly devolved into an oversaturated cesspool of an industry. For customers, there was almost nowhere to turn. During the height of the cramming era, every single entity, from the ringtone companies, to the cell phone vendors, to the phone networks themselves, were complicit in this diabolical, WAP cramming, infinite money glitch that no one had decided to patch. Until someone did. In 2007, Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone, a revolutionary new product that would single-handedly become responsible for dismantling the entire ringtone industry. And for many reasons. For starters, the iPhone allowed users to create their own ringtones with the songs they had purchased from iTunes. This would go on to create a really awkward moment in the industry where a 99-cent purchase from Apple could get you an entire song, while $4 from a ringtone company would get you 30 seconds of T-Pain. But that's not all. The iPhone also spurred the launch of the App Store, a fully centralized marketplace of third-party applications that made Jamster's text-to-order service look like a goddamn telegram. The rise of the App Store increased your phone's capacity for entertainment to a level that would make ringtones look like a tacky, outdated novelty. There was just so much else you could be doing on your phone now. Not to mention, as phone use became more widespread, texting just kind of became the norm, ultimately eliminating the need for an expensive, personalized ringtone. No one calls anymore, you know this. Today, the only people that call me are my good friends from Mumbai and Hong Kong. Thanks for calling, guys. Thanks for checking up. With the combined rise of the smartphone and the App Store ecosystem, ringtone sales would begin to fall sharply after 2007. And it wouldn't be long after until the entire industry was put on silent. By 2013, Jamster had faded into obscurity, the music industry had lost another revenue stream, and the use of WAP had finally dried out. For the phone networks, it was bad news too. In 2013, the public had finally managed to file enough complaints about unauthorized cell phone fees for the government to start digging. And boy did they find some dirt. Over the course of the next 2 years, virtually every major American cell phone company would be found guilty of facilitating and profiting off of cramming. A tactic they all actively knew was a scam. AT&T was fined $105 million. T-Mobile, $90 million. Verizon, another $90. Sprint, $68 million. I mean, they nailed these guys. And thankfully, it worked. Today, mobile phone companies have learned from their mistakes and are now incredibly fair and trustworthy. Okay, so what can we learn from all this? Well, when it comes to the 2000s, I think it's easy to look back on the era with an almost irresponsible level of nostalgia. Sure, it was an exciting time. Technology was increasing at an incredible pace, and for the most part, companies were still trying to learn what worked, resulting in an era of ambitious experimentation. There was this sort of anything goes mentality. It was the Wild West. But do you know what else was a part of the Wild West? Lawlessness. In the West, you could steal a man's horse and get away with it. You could murder a man in cold blood, then move 50 miles away, and just be fine. You could sell snake oil to a bunch of people that didn't know how to read and become a millionaire. And during the ringtone era, it was exactly the same. The 2000s were a time when the primitive security systems of the internet, combined with loose regulations and a general lack of digital literacy, were ripe for exploitation. And while it was an exciting time for tech, it was also a time when phishing scams ran rampant, computer viruses were just the norm, and shady companies like Jamster thrived. I'll end with this. When the audio fidelity of cell phone speakers widely improved in 2002, it was proof of how even the simplest technologies could change the world. They could create entire new businesses, disrupt billion-dollar industries, and shape the way we created and consumed media. But when placed in the wrong hands, they could also be exploited, and oftentimes in ways we'd never expect. And that goes for anything, from yesterday's ringtones to today's AI. It's a universal truth, if you will. One that still rings true today. I'll see myself out.
Fala pessoal, tudo bom com vocês? Aqui é a Nostalgia e sejam todos bem-vindos a esse canal. E hoje eu venho aqui com o iceberg de Lost Medias, mídias perdidas da Rede Globo. Eu fiz já o iceberg de Lost Medias do SBT, eu vi que vocês gostaram bastante e alguns até me pediram para eu fazer um iceberg de Lost Medias, só que de outras emissoras. E como vocês sabem, sempre aparece alguma informação a mais, alguma Lost Media a mais, então eu não sei se eu vou conseguir colocar tudo aqui, mas caso você se lembre de mais alguma coisa que eu não mencionei aqui nesse vídeo, é só comentar aqui embaixo. Camada 1. Alô Brasil, aquele abraço é um programa da Rede Globo que estreou em 30 de setembro de 1969, durando assim apenas 2 anos. E não há nenhum clipe desse programa além de imagens dele na internet. E o único áudio dele é a música tema do programa. Consistia em uma competição entre os estados brasileiros que deveriam apresentar atrações típicas, musicais circenses ou curiosidades que chamassem a atenção do público. Existem várias teorias pelo motivo da mesma ser Lost Media. A primeira é devido aos 2 primeiros incêndios que aconteceram na emissora, mas há quem também acredite em uma outra teoria. Diante ao desgaste, a alta cúpula da Globo resolveu fazer uma trollagem dentro de uma exibição da atração em 1970. Na ocasião foi levada ao ar uma transmissão supostamente feita na Itália. O fato é que os apresentadores e artistas surgiram embarcando em um avião e anunciando atrações italianas. Mas não demorou muito para a Veja expor a mentira da Globo. De acordo com a revista, a exibição era uma mentira e havia sido gravada no Brasil e não houve viagem alguma à Itália. Então há pessoas que acreditam que propositalmente esse programa se tornou uma Lost Media por conta desse vexame. Ok, talvez aqui se trate mais de uma mídia arquivada do que perdida, porque eu acredito que em algum lugar a Globo tenha salvo as filmagens da primeira versão do Rock Santeiro, de 1975, que seria a primeira novela exibida a cores no país. A novela seria exibida a partir do dia 27 de agosto de 1975, e 30 capítulos já tinham sido gravados, chamadas anunciavam o programa, mas na data da estreia, a emissora recebeu um ofício do Departamento de Ordem Política e Social do governo federal, proibindo pela primeira vez a exibição de uma novela no Brasil. O motivo da censura foi uma escuta telefônica do governo, em que foi gravada uma conversa de Dias Gomes, afirmando que Rock Santeiro era apenas uma forma de enganar os militares, adaptando o berço do herói para a televisão. 10 anos depois, em 1985, com a censura caminhando para o fim, Boni, o então diretor da Globo, decidiu resgatar a trama e finalmente produzir a novela. Seria então uma nova versão do Rock Santeiro. Assim, quase nenhum personagem novo foi introduzido e a trama central da história se manteve idêntica e com poucas adaptações. Balão Mágico foi um programa infantil produzido e exibido pela Rede Globo entre 7 de março de 83 a 28 de junho de 86. E ele foi apresentado originalmente por Simoni e Fofão, então para os mais novinhos aí que não sabem, o Fofão se originou desse programa da Globo, com a adesão de Mike, Toby e Jairzinho, que logo depois se juntariam também à banda Turma do Balão Mágico. E não me esqueci do Ricardinho, que entrou depois no lugar do Toby, e das apresentadoras Luciana Benelli e Tiziane Pinheiro. E o programa foi um enorme sucesso na emissora. Isso porque já era aí bem popular devido aos discos lançados. E inclusive Balão Mágico ganhou especiais de fim de ano devido à sua grande popularidade entre as crianças e o sucesso estrondoso de vendas dos LPs da turma. Mas apesar disso tudo, é muito difícil encontrar algo sobre o programa na internet ou em qualquer outro lugar. Tudo o que temos são pequenos trechos em baixíssima qualidade e nem ao menos um programa completo está disponível na internet. Não sabemos se a Globo tem esse programa arquivado, completo, em algum lugar, ou se não, se de repente as fitas foram reutilizadas para outras coisas, mas é bem estranho que nunca aconteceu nenhuma reprise dele. Vocês acham que se trata de uma Lost Media? Comentem aqui embaixo. Eu, no momento, acredito que sim. A Globo contém inúmeras novelas, minisséries e séries que se perderam com o tempo. Algumas até foram parcialmente encontradas ou estão parcialmente perdidas, e existem várias teorias quanto a isso, que vão desde incêndios até a falta de cuidado na hora de armazenar as fitas, ou até mesmo que as fitas foram reutilizadas para gravar em outros conteúdos por cima. Temos alguns exemplos como Ossos do Barão, Ilusões Perdidas, O Sheik de Agadir, Véu de Noiva, Pigmalião 70, O Cafona, Minha Doce Namorada, Cavalo de Aço, O Rebu e acredito que ainda tenham mais outras que serão eternamente perdidas ou parcialmente encontradas. Vila Sésamo é uma série infantil, sendo uma coprodução brasileira do popular programa de televisão infantil norte-americano Sesame Street, que estreou em 12 de outubro de 1972. Na época, a TV Cultura e a Rede Globo estavam bastante interessadas em adaptar o programa norte-americano, e como a Rede Globo inicialmente não tinha estúdios para filmar o seriado, foi criada uma parceria entre as duas emissoras. E eis o motivo de Vila Sésamo ter sido exibida tanto pela TV Cultura como pela Globo até 1974, quando a TV Globo assumiu totalmente a produção do programa, sendo exibido nela até 1977. Apesar das reprises da TV Cultura em seu especial de 30 anos, dizem que há muitos episódios que se perderam com o tempo. Existem muitas dublagens de desenhos, filmes e séries que foram perdidas, mas antes disso foram exibidas na Globo. Aliás, eu já tenho um vídeo antigo falando sobre desenhos exibidos na Globo que estão perdidos mundialmente, mas além disso existem muitas coisas que apenas contêm a dublagem perdida, ou receberam uma nova dublagem, porém a antiga se perdeu com o tempo. E isso desde desenhos da TV Globinho até filmes da Sessão da Tarde. Camada 2. Existem muitas vinhetas da Globo que ao longo dos anos se perderam devido a muitos fatores. Algumas foram até encontradas, sejam completas ou de maneira parcial. Já outras, como por exemplo a vinheta da Copa do Mundo de 1974, continua perdida. E dizem que essa vinheta foi perdida no incêndio da Globo de 1976. Existe um episódio da temporada de 1997 da novela Malhação que está perdida e quem disse isso foi a própria Globo. Se tratando do capítulo 177. O canal Viva, em um post no Facebook, comentou sobre o ocorrido. Tenho a atenção dos meus noveleiros? O recado é importante. O capítulo 177 de Malhação 97, que iria ao ar no Viva nessa terça-feira, 6 de dezembro, não pode ser resgatado. Tentamos viabilizar a exibição deste capítulo de inúmeras maneiras, mas infelizmente não foi possível. Com isso haverá um pulo do capítulo 176 para o 178 na exibição na TV e no streaming. E quanto a esse caso, a minha esperança é de que alguém tenha gravado esse tal episódio 177 em VHS, em uma qualidade bacana e que consiga disponibilizar para a gente. Eu já citei dublagens perdidas aqui, mas um fato curioso é que existem dublagens de desenhos, filmes e séries que foram feitas exclusivamente para a Globo. Tem dublagens da Globo que não são perdidas, outras foram até lançadas em VHS ou DVD e algumas parcialmente encontradas. Um clássico exemplo é a dublagem exclusiva da Globo do anime Sakura Card Captors, e no site Internet Archive existe um pequeno acervo de episódios encontrados da versão dublada do anime que foi encomendada pela Rede Globo e exibida na TV Globinho durante o começo dos anos 2000, mais precisamente em 2001. E diferente da versão normal, exibida na TV paga pelo Cartoon Network e Boomerang, apesar de ser dublado pelo mesmo estúdio, BKS, essa versão teve algumas cenas redubladas, diálogos alterados e com direito a músicas de insert traduzidas e dubladas. Essa versão é super rara e foi parcialmente encontrada. Grande parte dos primeiros anos do Jornal Nacional foram perdidos devido aos incêndios que ocorreram na emissora. Aliás, no incêndio de 1976, cerca de 920 a 1.500 fitas foram destruídas, assim destruindo boa parte do acervo do jornal. E aproveitando o gancho, cerca de 35 edições do programa dominical Fantástico também foram perdidas pelo mesmo motivo. E como na época os aparelhos de videocassete ainda eram raros nos lares, se trata de uma mídia praticamente irrecuperável, ao menos que por algum milagre alguém tenha conseguido gravar alguma coisa. Mas, na verdade, o primeiro incêndio da Globo foi em 1969 e causou muito transtorno para a emissora. A novela A Cabana do Pai Tomás, de 1969, estava sendo produzida quando as chamas destruíram parte da emissora em São Paulo, acabando com os primeiros 20 capítulos da trama. Com isso, as filmagens foram transferidas para o Rio de Janeiro, onde foi desenvolvida. Folhetins como O Passo dos Ventos e O Rei dos Ciganos foram completamente destruídos no incêndio. Além disso, acreditam que mais outras mídias também foram destruídas devido a esse ocorrido. A primeira versão da Grande Família foi exibida entre 26 de outubro de 72 a 27 de março de 1975, tendo totalizado 112 episódios, mas infelizmente há poucos episódios salvos pelo acervo da Globo, sendo assim uma mídia parcialmente encontrada. Bem antes da TV Globinho, existia o Globinho, que era um programa infantil em formato de telejornal que estreou em 1972 com uma edição diária de segunda a sexta. Já em março de 1977, o infantil passou a ter apenas 2 edições diárias de 5 minutos. E a partir de 1978, em edição nacional, o Globinho voltou a ter 15 minutos de duração, e esse novo formato abriu espaço para a apresentação de desenhos. E em outubro de 1981, o Globinho passou a ser apresentado com 30 minutos de duração. E a abertura de 72 está perdida até hoje e infelizmente só existem alguns pequenos trechos dessa fase disponíveis para a gente assistir na internet. Camada 3. O show da Xuxa teve 2 programas pilotos, um num cenário em que a Xuxa não gostou e pediu para trocar, e outro já com um cenário que todos nós conhecemos. Porém, nenhum deles foi ao ar. Mas curiosamente, há 2 fotos do primeiro episódio piloto que aparecem na contracapa do disco Show da Xuxa. Casa do Terror era mais uma tentativa de encontrar uma solução para os fins de noite de domingo da emissora, mas digamos que a coisa foi tão ruim que não deu nem um pouco certo. As piadas, figurinos, maquiagem, sinopse, quase tudo desagradou o público. E foi idealizado como uma série, mas teve apenas 2 episódios levados ao ar. Porém, dizem que tinham mais episódios gravados além desses que nunca foram ao ar. E por se tratar da Globo e um fracasso, nós nunca veremos isso outra vez. Linguinha vs Mr. Yes foi um seriado infanto-juvenil exibido pela Rede Globo entre 11 de outubro de 71 a abril de 72. O humorista Chico Anísio interpreta o personagem principal, Linguinha, numa história que narra suas aventuras contra o seu grande inimigo, o Mr. Yes. Mas apesar de toda a popularidade, nunca houve uma reprise da série. Além de que não existe nenhum resquício da série na internet, além de algumas fotos e sua trilha sonora. O programa humorístico Superstar foi criado e escrito por Chico Anísio, especialmente para Xuxa. Na história, Xuxa interpretava 4 personagens: a apresentadora Shirley Liz, a empregada metida e atrapalhada Rose Cleide Sueli, a avó Cotinha e Lívia Peron, que era uma mulher esotérica. Superstar era para ter entrado na grade da emissora e seria exibido uma vez por mês. Porém, o programa foi exibido uma única vez em abril de 91, no extinto Terça Nobre. E há 2 versões para o fim inesperado do programa. A audiência não teria agradado a emissora, que esperava índices maiores, ou a apresentadora teria tido alergia à maquiagem usada para caracterizar inúmeras personagens. O capítulo 1 está na internet, porém dizem que existem mais episódios gravados que nunca foram ao ar e não sabemos se a Globo mantém eles arquivados ou não, ou se um dia de fato teremos acesso a eles. Casamento na TV foi um programa de auditório exibido na Rede Globo. O programa realizava entrevistas com mulheres e homens solteiros que desejavam se casar. No começo de sua exibição, o programa não fez tanto sucesso, porém o escândalo no meio do programa despertou o interesse de novos telespectadores, causando um aumento significativo da audiência. Lembrando que aqui nós estamos falando de outras épocas, então esse acontecimento para a época foi considerado um grande absurdo. Em um dos programas, uma mulher grávida, com a devida autorização da produção, parou o programa para delatar um dos candidatos a noivos como o pai de seu filho. E é claro que na época isso era considerado um grande absurdo, gerou um grande rebuliço, apareceu nos jornais e etc. Isso acabou aumentando a popularidade do programa também. Então, com o aumento da popularidade, o programa que antes era transmitido em 45 minutos passou a ter 1 hora de duração e contava também com apresentações musicais, porém, tudo isso é lost media. Dercy de Verdade foi um programa de televisão brasileiro produzido e exibido pela Globo. Era apresentado por Dercy Gonçalves, onde comandava gincanas, entrevistas, com a participação do auditório, além de discutir alguns temas relevantes para a época. Lembrando que aqui eu não me refiro à minissérie, e não há nenhum registro dele em vídeo. O acordo entre a TV Globo e a Maurício de Souza Produções começou em 1999, quando foram lançados episódios de 1 minuto da Turma da Mônica e Chico Bento dentro do programa Angel Mix. Em 2000, a Globo tinha a intenção de lançar vários programas infantis de meia hora, que reduziriam o espaço dos desenhos animados estrangeiros na programação matinal. E a ideia era que o programa mesclasse quadros feitos de animação, atores de carne e osso, fantoches e bonecos animatrônicos. E a atração passou a ser desenvolvida pela Globo em 2000, e a expectativa era que o programa fizesse parte do Bambu Luar. Só que quando o Bambu Luar entrou no ar, o programa da Turma da Mônica ainda não estava pronto. Assim, a princípio foi lançado um pequeno segmento chamado Turma da Mônica na TV, que ocupava um pouco mais de 5 minutos do programa Bambu Luar. E o segmento reunia os quadros do J. Leão Campeão, Turma do Penadinho e outros quadros com personagens principais do bairro do Limoeiro. E infelizmente se trata de uma lost media parcialmente encontrada. Se vocês quiserem mais detalhes, já tem um vídeo do Lucas Nauta explicando a respeito disso. Aqui eu tô resumindo bem. E dizem também que aos poucos o segmento seria maior, mas isso não aconteceu e não se sabem se isso chegou a ser gravado como um piloto ou não. Camada 4. Na década de 70, antes de ser o dono do SBT, Silvio Santos chegou a ficar no ar em várias emissoras concorrentes ao mesmo tempo. Na época, a relação do apresentador com a Globo era diferente do que é feito hoje, com a maior parte dos profissionais. Silvio Santos trabalhava como produtor independente. Ele comprava horários na Globo